Powerful, aggressive, demanding, explosive, dynamic, focused, graceful, and disciplined. All necessary ingredients to be a champion. Tonight, the women of 3 Big Ten schools begin their quest to be crowned the best. A new season starts and the nerves are evident, but so too the adrenaline. From the storied Jennison Fieldhouse, home to Spartan basketball between 1940 and 1989, now home to some of the finest women gymnasts in all the land for Michigan State. A quad meet. Michigan, the Wolverines, the Spartans, the Illini, and Western Michigan. Hi again, everybody, and welcome. Just settle back and relax. Enjoy weeks of tremendous women's gymnastics action as we follow the Big Ten Conference all the way to the Big Ten Women's Championship in Champaign at Illinois. That'll be right here on the Big Ten Network. Experts, we've got them galore, the big smile. Mary Lee Tracy is alongside once again, recently inducted 2008 into the USA Gymnastics Hall of Fame. And if Miss Banda Scott looks familiar, she should. She lettered 3 years here for the Spartans, right? All Big Ten last year. So it's great to have you as a member of our team as well. Let's talk a little bit about the first time out for Illinois and for Michigan State. But let's be honest, south of the border, there was some terrific action in Cancun, huh?
Yes, the Wolverines, they started their season off last weekend in Cancun. Had a great start as far as team bonding, fun in the sun, but gymnastics, they struggled a bit. And tonight, Coach Bev plans on tightening it up and making it a goal to hit their routines.
Speaking of routines, let's take a look at the little pepper pot, all right? Here she was back in December and at the Big Ten Women's Championship. Rhiannon, 3-year letter person, starred for Kathy Klages here, all Big Ten as a senior. Be honest, I mean, you were rocking to the music there. Do you miss it at all?
When I watch things like this a little bit, but it's nice to be doing something different with my life now and starting new things. So
well, let's talk about the Spartans, and I'm sure you'll say we a couple dozen times, okay? Last year, a little light as far as upperclassmen. They lost you, but as the saying goes, right, youth will be served.
That's right, Jim. You know, last year they only had 3 competing upperclassmen, whereas this year the team has 6 upperclassmen, and they're really going to be looking to that talented class for the direction, for experience, and for talent to get where they need to be this year in the national spotlight. And coming off of a 3rd-place finish from regionals last year, they're just in the place to do that. One
of the events that you starred in, of course, was the balance beam. Balance has a different meaning when we're talking about Illinois because...
Well, as a coach, you need to have balance of veterans, and you need the energy and enthusiasm of the young freshmen coming in, and the Illini have that. This year, it's going to be an exciting year for them. Also leading the team is senior Marika Boderman, who is the sister of Kylie Boderman on the Michigan team, and both sisters are very talented, but they're both very competitive.
As are my 2 expert analysts. So, gals, let's go to work, all right? We've got terrific action in the quad meet, highlighting Illinois, Michigan State, and Michigan. It's all dead ahead, all pointing to the Women's Big Ten Championships on your Big Ten Network. Cassie Russell played basketball here, as did Magic Johnson. The Jennison Fieldhouse on the campus of Michigan State University, now home to the Lady Spartans. Women's gymnastics, our quad meet to kick off the 2009 women's gymnastics season. The Spartans on the vault, the Wolverines on the balance beam, the Illini on the uneven bars, and Western Michigan opens up on the floor.
Hunt starts with a simple A value mount. The values of all the skills go from A, B, C, all the way up to a D. Now you can see that she is preparing to do a big tumbling pass. This would be called her flight series with 3 elements that has much bonus in it because all 3 were connected. Nice dance combination. You can look at her feet and see how square she works the beam. That is a full turn, which is one of the 5 requirements on the beam. Gym, acro put together, combination bonus added to her start value.
You don't see that skill very often anymore, do you?
No, not really, but it's nice because it gets them down on the beam, which is a requirement.
It's a unique dismount.
She was the Wolverines' most improved gymnast 2 years ago. Her best score on the beam last year, a 9.850 for Hunneth Lohr. How about that back handspring?
It's a very unique combination, taking it down to the beam.
You have to have a lot of control for that skill.
And for the Fighting Illini over on the bars, the power-packed freshman, only 5'2", the 18-year-old Kelsey Joanne Undies.
It's a very common mount. It's easy, it's clean to get up on the bars, and there's a handstand, and you can see she was past the vertical line, which is a big deduction on the bars. Watching the girls work in vertical and all of the handstands, that was an excellent handstand. And there's another one, straight line, winding up for the dismount. Full twist into a double tuck. Slight step on the landing, but overall a great routine.
With Coach Bob Starkell there in his 10th year at the helm for the Fighting Illini. And here's the handstand you liked.
Lines are so important on bars. Just aesthetically, to see an athlete make a straight line is just beautiful. And there it is, a double tuck, knees together. Very clean dismount.
Next up for the Maize and Blue, the 19-year-old two-time All-America out of New Lenox, Illinois, and Lincoln Way Central, Kylie Boderman. Rhiannon, what do you think about the first couple of seconds before you get up on the beam?
It's very nerve-wracking waiting for that flag to go up. Lots of things running through your mind, that's for sure.
How do you chase the demons away?
I guess with practice, it just gets a little bit easier every time, but you're still going to have that in the back of your mind, those what-ifs.
And there's Kylie's flight pass on the beam. Was very square, but a slight knee bend, which is a deduction. You can see the judges on the sideline making their deductions. Small errors are usually 1/10 and can go up to 3. And a nice gainer with a full twist off of the side of the beam, which meets the requirement of a C dismount, and a nice stick.
Kylie's best score on the beam last year, 9.575.
Here we have a solid stick on the dismount. That'll be a nice score for her.
This is the other Boderman that Mary Lee was talking about, Marika, the 21-year-old, 5'3" senior out of Lincoln Way Central and Gym Kinetics Club. She, of course, for Illinois.
This is the same mount off of the board, a little more challenging when you have to go over the low bar. There's a very clean full pirouette in the handstand. That is called a release move. Letting go and re-grabbing the bar. It's also a requirement.
Marika seems to have a little bit more power than the previous athlete.
And I think that's why you see the good form in her legs with a full twisting dismount. Very high quality difficulty.
Gorgeous landing.
Bob Starkell liked it.
And here is the release move. It's a half turn into what is called a pike Jaeger, just a little bit of leg separation.
Here she comes for the dismount. Nice form and a gorgeous stick. That was a great routine.
She was a member of the 2003 Greek national team, 20 years of age, 5'2", out of Livonia, Michigan, Nicole Argyros.
Starting off with a very dynamic run. Great contact on the board and the horse, which created a great vault.
Fellow Spartan, you know her well, describes herself as random, funny, and warm-hearted.
One thing the judges are really going to look for is the distance from the vault to the mat. If you see here, that's something Nicole does really well.
And a big smile there for the dietetics major out of the Michigan Academy of Gymnastics, and her score in the vault, 9.725. What a program this lady has run in her 20th year. Consider this for the Maize and Blue. 15, count them, 15 Big Ten Conference crowns in her last 17 years. That's amazing. Sarah Curtis, the 21-year-old for the Wolverines out of Reno, Nevada.
She starts off with a side summy on the balance beam, which is a salto with no hands touching. You can see the preparation lining up to do her flight pass on the beam. 2 back handsprings to a layout step out, very solid. It's always interesting to watch their feet on the beam, and you'll see the different positions as to whether they land with balance or whether they have a small error, as you can see there. Switch leap to a gainer, one arm back handspring. Very nice combination. Nice to see a gymnast smile on the beam and look like they enjoy that challenging event.
It's always important to show a little bit of your personality in your dance as well. The judges really enjoy seeing a little bit of you showing your routine.
Preparation for the dismount. Round off, double tuck. That is a very impressive dismount at this competition. You're not going to see a lot of somersaults flipping twice off the end of the beam.
Sarah Curtis, she was the Wolverines' most valuable performer last year.
A lot of height on that double back.
Yes, her legs were a little bit apart on the dismount. They call that a cowboy position.
And a few steps, but a solid routine from her.
3-time Big Ten Gymnast of the Week, Sarah Curtis. Now the junior out of Greenwood, Indiana, Nicole Coward.
Nice hop to handstand and a nice release move down to the low bar, also showing a handstand. Transitions getting from low bar to high bar need to be quick and efficient. And Ginger, release move inside the bars, very original. And a full twisting double layout dismount. Even though there was a step, it was an impressive dismount.
What has she learned from Coach Bob Starkell in her 3 years at Champaign? Patience, the key word.
You can see the Giants building in power and speed to create the difficulty in that dismount.
Best on the bars at the Big Ten Championship. Her sisters, Jewel and Sabrina, provide an awful lot of motivation. Here's the outstanding junior for the Spartans, Rochelle Robinson.
Now that's a run that doesn't need a lot of speed because there's so much power in those legs. The dynamics of that vault was incredible.
Rochelle is actually the first gymnast at Michigan State to receive a perfect 10 and was on this event during her freshman year.
Captured the junior Olympic national title in the vault 2 years running. Rochelle Robinson out of Chesapeake, Virginia. The outstanding junior out of Heartland, Wisconsin, 20 years of age, 5'2", Sarah Schmidt. Missed 2 of 13 meets last year for the Illini with that sprained ankle, but did win 2 bar titles.
Starts off with her first release move, which is a pike Jaeger. Very clean, nice rise. Another release move, excellent form. And there's her transition up to the high bar. Another strong cast to handstand. And there's a full turn with a little loss of body shape in her lower back, but a nice double tuck dismount.
Competed for the Midwest Twisters, the kinesiology major.
Here on the replay, we're going to see her release move again. A nice hiked Jaeger. Nicely done.
Way above the height of the high bar.
And after she graduates, Sarah's headed to Europe for a little vacation. On the bars, 9.800. Next up for the Wolverines, the junior out of West Hills, New York, 20 years of age, Jacqueline Kramer.
It's a great story about Jacqueline. She came to Michigan and walked on her first 2 years. Through all of her hard work, her dedication, her team spirit to the team, Bev put her on a full scholarship this year. Here's her tumbling series on beam. There's the back handspring, 2 of them with nice straight legs. Form was excellent.
And tall for a gymnast, 5'6".
Gorgeous lines, though.
Very difficult skill. It has a D value, but nonetheless, a fall is 5/10, and you can see that she is a little bit nervous. Once she gets a little more experience under her belt, I think she's going to be a strong contender on the Michigan lineup.
Rhiannon, who gave you the best tip in terms of battling nerves?
When it came to the balance beam, I don't think I ever really conquered those nerves. It's a scary event.
Because?
Only 4 inches wide and way up there, and you're flipping around. It can be nerve-wracking.
Here's a pretty good example of why the 4 inches is so important. Those toes just hugging the beam, eh?
You can see how narrow it is, and a lot of the moves you do are blind, where you don't even see the beam coming at you.
We will, of course, update rotation number 1. Rotation 2's up next. The Broncos move to the vault. The Illini will be on the beam. The Spartans at home on the uneven bars, and the Wolverines on the floor. That'll be something special. Welcome back to the Jennison Fieldhouse on the campus of Michigan State University. A big quad meet to kick off the 09 women's gymnastics schedule. And a reminder, the Big Ten Network looking for its most passionate fans with Big Ten super fans. The Big Ten Network wants to reward its loyal viewers with chances to win great prizes like tickets to a Big Ten game, TVs, iPods, and much more. Register now at BigTenNetwork.com. After 1 rotation, Rochelle Robinson, the smallest, shall be first.
Also one of the Spartans' strongest vaulters, she came out on top today with a score of 9.75.
After 1, the Fighting Illini.
Always nice to start an event off with an athlete like Sarah Schmidt scoring a 9.8.
Second meet of the year for the Wolverines.
And a solid rotation for their team with a few 9.75s.
And the Broncos of Western Michigan have motored the East Lansing as well, part of the quad meet here on your Big Ten Network. So the team standings after that first rotation look like this. Illinois with a narrow lead over the hometown Michigan State Spartans. Michigan eyeing another Big Ten championship, and Western Michigan bringing up the rear, but still 3 rotations left to go. Time now for the advertising major, the junior out of Waymart, Pennsylvania, Emily Lopatovsky.
Emily has really great lines on this event. She swings bars really nicely.
And finishes that full pirouette right on top of the bar. But a small bang on her release move. You saw her foot make contact with the bar, probably a 3/10 deduction. Now these transitions again from low bar to high bar, there must be 2 in every routine. Dismount is 2 somersaults in the laid out position, a little leg separation, but overall a very clean set.
I'll tell you what she had for lunch today, pasta. That's her pre-meet ritual at home. A little bobble here in the middle, huh?
Yeah, you see her clip her heel on the side of the bar because the release move lacked a little amplitude. And here comes that dismount. It's a very challenging dismount to keep your body in a laid out position, but she does a great job of that.
And she'll celebrate her 21st birthday coming up, second week of February. For Illinois, the sophomore power packed at 5'1", and she celebrated her 20th birthday just 5 days ago, Lashley Morris.
And I like the way Lashley starts off and says, watch this routine. Her poise and her confidence is outstanding. Very much needed when you're getting ready to tumble a 3-element flight pass down the beam. Excellent. Here's her leap combination, switch leap, straddle jump. Very nice, interesting choreography. Always catches the judges' attention, not to mention the audience, of course. Maintaining that confident look. She's not going to let down. Small jump combination. Very little deduction in this routine. And there it is, a stuck dismount for no deduction. That was a gainer back pike. Great job.
Great routine. Here we have another replay of her series. 3 skills in a row, and she nails it perfectly.
For the gal that competed for Brandy Johnson's Global Gymnastics Academy, the kinesiology major who had 3 9.8 double zeros last year.
I'm just excited. Very good. Nice job. Thank you.
In her 19th season, Kathy Klegas for the Spartans of Michigan State, the green and white. And now Rochelle Robinson, power packed at 20 years of age and only 4'11".
Very impressive routine from Rochelle here.
Because?
You see the bar bend, like she uses her power to take the bar and make it bend, so all of the release moves that she does have huge amplitude.
She's a very strong athlete.
A very clean double tuck dismount without an ounce of movement on the landing.
What made her a good teammate for you last year?
Rochelle's got a great personality. She's always joking around and has great attitude in the gym. And she's got the talent and the difficulty that the Spartans need on their team, so.
Second all Big Ten selection from a year ago. The junior out of Chesapeake, Virginia, Rochelle Robinson. Marika Boderman, 21 years of age, 5'3", the senior for the Illini on the beam.
And mounts with a huge punch front to a very good landing. Very tall. Posture is important on the balance beam. And you can see she's setting up a 3-element flight series. And that is her leap combination, which is a requirement. All requirements are worth 2/10 each. So if someone eliminates one of them, it's a deduction off of their start value. Very creative movement to show level change on the beam from high to low.
A little bit of a wobble on that leap there.
And you could see it was from lack of posture. She didn't keep her shoulders upright over her hips.
Nice dismount, though. Great stick.
You always hear the phrase tight-minded when it comes to beam. What does that mean, gals?
Well, you'll see her tight mind right here as she does this series. On only 4 inches, she does 3 passes, all tumbling.
Perfect stick.
Rhiannon Bandon-Scott knows what Nicole Curler does before the meet. Dances in the locker room with the teammates. What kind of music?
Oh, any anything from country to rap. They like to get pretty riled up in that locker room.
There's her release move. It's called a ginger. There's the handstand, and it was a little loose. Small deduction for not being at vertical.
And she had those two releases connected to one another also.
And there's that double layout dismount to a stuck landing.
The 20-year-old who celebrated her 21st birthday that third week in February out of Bay City, Michigan, wants to coach collegiate gymnastics after she graduates. And how about the dismount, gals?
The Spartans are always known for their stuck landing. It's one thing that they work really hard on in the gym, and it really shows in their scores as well. Looks like she's happy with that routine.
Now a young lady that bounced back from a torn Achilles in 2007 to earn all Big Ten first team honors last year and win 12 individual event titles in 2008. Sarah Curtis, the junior from Reno.
Sarah Curtis, as you can see, is a very powerful gymnast, which is an asset when it comes to 3 tumbling runs, which you have to count on the power in order to get amplitude on all of the saltos. But you'll notice she also will perform.
Brianna, define amplitude for folks that might not know what it means in gymnastic terms. Huh?
Amplitude would basically mean having as much height as you can on your passes. So you'll see when she does her first pass here, the higher she goes, the better. Michigan always has very unique floor routines. They're great to watch.
And here's the first tumbling run. Double pike somersault, good landing.
And great amplitude.
When you say that they've got a unique routine, what separates it, say, from the Spartans or from Illinois?
Well, the Spartans this year, they actually have very interesting floor routines. They all allow each individual athlete's personality to shine through, which we'll see when we get to floor for MSU. But really just showing a routine that involves the judges and that allows the athlete to show off a little bit, that's what's going to get you a great score.
That is good choreography. A choreographer comes in and tries to create a routine that fits the athlete, but also makes the crowd enjoy the performance.
A little smiling never hurts either, like we just saw there.
And her final tumbling run is a double back somersault in the tuck position.
Looked effortless for her, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Sarah Curtis, the biology major who won 3 titles on the floor last year, and her best score, 9.925.
Here's her opening pass, a double pike.
And there's that amplitude that Rhiannon was talking about. And you'll see it again here in her front tumbling pass.
The freshman out of Tinley Park, Illinois, and the United Gymnastics Club, Jackie Berg.
She starts off with a nice straddle over mount. And there's the handstand. Right into a half turn, immediate pike Jaeger. Clean, high above the bar. That's a bail to handstand. That's 2 release moves, good variety. Little short on that cast handstand. She's setting up for a very nice double layout.
Chose Michigan State their RBS because of team bonding and the amazing atmosphere. You can relate to that.
Sure can, Jim. And being a freshman, that's a great thing for her to come in on. Nice dismount, too.
Jackie Berg, 19-year-old, and her score on the bar is 9.750. Two-time All-American and the Big Ten floor champion in her debut as a freshman, Kylie Boderman.
Kylie's a great performer and has some really great dance skills in her routines.
She opens with a double pike dismount, landed with her legs a little locked, so she had to take a large step backwards. Very nice dance combination. Playing with the judges a little bit, which is always nice, establish a little relationship.
You can actually see her sister over on beam cheering her on floor.
There again was the amplitude on the leaps and jumps. Certainly tell she likes to dance and have a good time.
That's for sure. Getting ready for a last pass here.
Double tuck. Slightly short chest down, but overall, a very strong performance.
And conflicted. Half for the Wolverines, half for the Illini. Hank Botterman, Marika, of course, a senior for Bob Starkel. And the first pass, gals.
First pass was strong, very strong, but you can see here as she landed, legs were a little too straight.
Class pass was nicely done, though. Nice and high, and a good landing.
3 titles on the floor for Kylie Botterman last year, and there is Marika over for the Fighting Illini. What a future Kelsey has for the Illini. Just a freshman, a 4-year honor student at Frederick High School in Frederick, Maryland. Distinguished Maryland Merit Scholar. Graduated in the top 5% of her class.
Looks like overall this Illini team is very well coached on beam. You see the same confident, good posture. Nice combination.
Kelsey's a very graceful gymnast, so she's always a pleasure to watch.
Mary Lee, are there some coaches that are better on some apparatus coaching than others?
Absolutely, absolutely. Either as you were a gymnast, sometimes your favorite event you like to coach, or just your technical knowledge is better in certain areas. Nice flexibility. And there's that full turn. It's a requirement, it's not an easy one. That's a front aerial. That's a front walker with no hands. Very difficult move. Has a value of a D. And there is her dismount with a full twist, clean and stuck.
Value of a D very quickly means?
Yes, as I said earlier, there are A's, B's, C's, and D's, and a D is the most difficult.
Here's a replay of her dismount. Fairly simple, but safe dismount to go with.
Coach Starkel says she's soft-spoken. Her gymnastics will speak volumes. Batting cleanup on the floor for the Wolverines, the 21-year-old senior out of Miami, Florida, Tatiana Tinarego.
Start, dynamic look, and her posture and her eyes. She's ready to start her first tumbling pass. That is called a double Arabian. Very difficult tumbling pass. As you can see, the mat was on the floor. That is allowed as long as it is moved after the tumbling pass is completed. Twisting pass combination, which adds bonus to your score. You're going to see a lot of girls this evening with tape around their ankles, some of them on their shins and their feet. not all of these are necessarily injuries. Some of it is just preventative since it's so early in the season.
Well, I taped my ankles and I actually wore wrist guards to protect my wrists from all the wear and tear, and that really helped me out. That looked like that might have hurt her ankles a bit, that landing.
Big Ten Freshman of the Year. 3-time Big Ten Gymnast of the Week, and the first pass.
This was a huge first pass.
You can see she starts off and she's twisting, and then she gets in a straight laid out position.
And bringing it home.
She lands a little bit short here, but on her feet.
The political science major, the senior out of Miami, Tatiana Tinarego. Great women's gymnastics action here from Michigan State University. A quad meet, scores straight ahead, and when we come back, the Wolverines on the vault, the Spartans on the beam, and the Illini on the floor. Judd Heathcote coached a lot of basketball here for the Spartans. Now it belongs to the Lady Spartans of Kathy Clagus. The Big Ten Tonight's your ultimate source for all things connected with the Big Ten. It's the nightly show for highlights, news, analysis of all the day's big stories, Big Ten action, interviews, and so much more. The Big Ten Tonight, only here on the Big Ten Network. Check your local listings. The results of rotation number 2 for the Spartans on the uneven bars. Gals, what grabbed your eye?
The 9.75 by Rochelle. That's the highest score of the night for the Spartans on the bars.
And the consistency.
Illinois was on the beam.
They started off strong, hit the first set, and stayed consistent and had a fall at the very end, but they don't have to count it.
And the Wolverines on the floor with his...
Very high scores for Michigan there. 9-9 from Kylie Botterman. That'll help them out.
And the Broncos of Western Michigan, as the banner says, the new gold standard. After 2 rotations, let's check the team standings here in this quad meet on the campus of Michigan State. The Fighting Illini, a narrow lead over the Wolverines. Spartans at home, opening up their first meet of the year. Michigan, as we pointed out, has already had some action in Cancun, and the Broncos bringing up the rear, but we're only halfway through. What a 4 years this gal has had. The senior out of Lincoln Way Central High School, New Lenox, Illinois, Marika Botterman.
This is where being a senior can really be to your advantage. The maturity, the experience, the ability to perform more to the judges and the audience. It's a very dynamic piece of music. Starts off with some nice jump combinations. Right into her first tumbling run. Double pike, strong landing.
You can tell she has a lot of fun with this routine too. Big smile across her face.
And some young gymnasts there in the upper left really enjoying this performance. And you guys are role models. You're heroes to those young gals.
They are. The gymnasts really are.
Frontward tumbling, very strong. Her body shape stayed very vertical all the way through. This is where you can see where her bounciness is to such an advantage because of how high she gets on her combinations.
She's done quite a few combinations.
Pressure on seniors, something you were not too long ago to provide leadership for a team?
It's something that really comes naturally to you after you've been part of a team and you've been at a school for 4 years. It's something that just comes with time, I guess.
And you'll see Marika's sister for Michigan, Kylie, on the vault a little bit later on.
Here's a replay of her first tumbling pass, a double pike, nicely done.
Marika Botterman, 21-year-old senior, and her score on the floor for 9.775. out of Wheaton, Illinois, the 21-year-old who's been so consistent for 4 straight years now, Caitlin Rogensack.
This is when coaching strategy plays a big part in the success of a team. Here we are with just tenths apart on the team, and your team is up on beam.
Caitlin is a very consistent beam worker. She's been the lead-off beam worker for the past 3 seasons for the Spartans. So Kathy knows that she can count on Caitlin to hit a good routine here.
Coach Kathy there in the background, left side of your screen. Peering over at the judge's pencil as well, right?
Oh, no.
First meet of the new year. There are some nerves, right?
It happens.
So disappointing when you know the number of routines that she's probably done day after day.
Successful ones, too. This is very uncharacteristic of her. It's always really tough to get up after a fall and be able to concentrate on the rest of your routine, and the first fall might have gotten to her a little bit.
Are you mad at yourself? Do you get down?
There's so many things going through your head. I think the one thing that really gets you is you're letting your team down, or you feel like you're letting your team down, and if you really keep in mind that they're not angry at you and that you are a team, you're in this together. So the next 5 girls have her back and they'll hit their routines. Nice dismount.
The psychology major, she'll have to work on her head a little bit here and regroup.
Just a little bit off on this. See that second foot barely touched the beam before she fell off.
So round off, double full twist, small hop on the landing, but a clean dismount.
How does Caitlin enjoy her day off? Catching up on homework, she tells us, and sleep. The personable senior out of Miami, Tatiana Tinarego.
You can see she's focused, getting ready. Her mind is on a forward movement so that she can pick up speed into the board off the horse. And it's a handspring front pike position.
Not a bad vault. It's a little bit of a different vault than we've seen here tonight. She actually flips forward off of the vault in a pike position.
2-time All-America, and her score, 9.750. What would Emily's career plans be? She'd like to work at an advertising agency and then have her own gymnastics club. Might get some advice from Mary Lee, huh?
Now, I was talking to Coach Kathy before the meet, and she said, beam is strong. It's really strong for us. We have good difficulty, but we're struggling with handling the pressure.
The pressure can get to you. Like I said before, the beam is a scary event. You really gotta know that you gotta trust in your preparation. That's one thing that Kathy always tries to get into everyone's head. You gotta believe in yourself and believe that all your preparation will pay off.
The margin for error is so small in comparison to the other events. Nice punch front somersault. It has a D value, which is very difficult.
It's great to see Emily back in the all-around this year also. Last season, she only did a couple events, so it'll be nice to have her back on all 4.
She said she's a sweetheart. What makes her so?
You have to really know Emily to know what I mean about that, but Emily's just the goofiest, most fun-loving person that I've ever been on a team with.
And look at this punch front. Very solid, good shape, good landing. She does an interesting dismount. She steps forward and does a gainer back somersault in the pike position.
Emily definitely works very hard, and I think it shows in that past routine we just saw.
Now the Wolverines' most valuable performer from last year, the outstanding junior, Sarah Curtis.
Starts off with a determined look, that's for sure. Very big, very powerful off of the horse to, of course, a stuck landing with very good posture.
Watch how quickly she pops off of that vault into that full twist. Right here, she's boom, right off. Nicely done.
3 vault titles last year for this outstanding junior. And her score here tonight in East Lansing, 9.825. In his 10th year at the helm for the Fighting Illini, what a job he did. Second at the Big Ten championships last year, Coach of the Year in 05, 13 all Big Ten honorees, 37 Scholastic All-Americans, and 70 all-academic Big Ten selections. Bob Starkell. And what has he taught his outstanding freshmen? To persevere, especially during the tough days, as that's what makes you a stronger athlete. Kelsey, of course, graduating in the top 5% of her high school class. What a future she's got.
And here goes Kelsey. You can see her mentally preparing to do her floor routine, taking a couple deep breaths, make sure that all of her muscles have oxygen to do 3 great tumbling passes. It's a very nice selection of music. Has a lot of rhythm changes. And here comes the first tumbling pass. Somersault in a pike position. Strong landing. I like her posture. I like her confident look. I like the way she holds her chin up. Not to mention that beautiful toe point.
It's very graceful. Nice leaps, too.
Miss Banda Scott, the music selection, it's a little bit like figure skating, right? I mean, you select a certain beat, a certain rhythm for certain moves.
That's right, Jim. You do. You can really pick whatever you want as long as you don't have words in it. You're not allowed words in your music, but if there's a piece of music you like, you can cut it to make it suitable for your floor routine.
You always see some small poses in the corner for the athlete to catch their breath and get ready for the next pass. Nice 1.5 back twist. Her feet just really catch my eye because that is just a beautiful toe point. Nice performance.
Nice hands as well.
Four-year honor student in high school. Distinguished Maryland Merit Scholar Award winner.
And here's that last pass again. A 1.5 twist with a very solid landing.
Asked Kelsey 3 words to describe herself. She said energetic, goofy, and organized. 5 titles on the vault last year for this outstanding sophomore out of New Lenox, Illinois, Kylie Botterman.
And there she makes contact with a little bit of bent arms on the horse, which caused the landing to be slightly low.
A little bit of a low landing, but check out the distance on this vault.
She was runner-up in the vault last year at the Big Ten Conference Championships. And her score here tonight in our quad meet, 9.700 for Kylie Botterman. Her coach, Bob Starkell, says great presence and style are 2 of the characteristics that have already shown up during the preseason training for this lady, Melissa Fernandez, the 20-year-old sophomore.
Melissa starts off here with a round-off back handspring, a double pike somersault, slight drop in her chest on the landing, maybe 1 or 2 tenths. Round-off back handspring, 2.5 twist, and it looks like she landed a little bit sideways on that ankle.
That's not good.
That's more than a little bit sideways there. She is in some severe pain.
Looks like she rolled it a little bit on that blind landing.
She's landing and she's still twisting, which is what caused the ankle to be turned under.
Yep.
It's the left ankle. Here's another look.
I think she landed on the side of it rather than flat-footed. Right there, you can see when it comes up, it's not straight.
And they cannot replace her because she started the routine.
So they'll be dropping her score for the floor rotation.
And that is just something you don't think about as an athlete, and certainly not the way you want to start out the year in your very first meet.
Exactly, in your first meet.
3 words to describe Nicole Curler. In her words, funny, stubborn, and determined. Up on the beam.
Stubborn on the beam is a great quality to have.
Spartans are going to need a good score from her on this event. She's got a very difficult series here. So 1 arm back handspring, another one, and then a layout. Very difficult. And right on.
And gals, in a meet like this, when you've got action going on the uneven bars, on the floor, music, all the distractions going on, how difficult is it to focus on something as precarious as the beam?
We train it every day in the gym, and there's usually music and other events going on, and you just kind of get into a box on the event you're on and you just block it out.
I know a lot of athletes actually use the music on the floor as something to do their beam routine too, as sort of a external distraction that they can use to their benefit.
There was a side aerial on the balance beam, which just was too short, not enough amplitude.
And that's a new skill for her this season too.
Hopefully for the Spartans, they're putting their new stuff out on the floor, on the beam this time, and it's going to come out at the end and be hitting, and they'll be up there in their start values.
Hopefully they get all their jitters out today as well.
Voted most outstanding gymnast last year. Here's the little bobble for Nicole Curler.
You can see just not enough rotation to put the second foot on the beam.
Very consistent dismount, however. Nice landing there.
Nicole just loves the challenge every day, a different challenge for gymnastics. If she could be on any TV show, it would be American Idol, and then she jokes and laughs and says, if only I could sing. The junior for the Illini, Sarah Smith.
Nice energy in this floor music. First tumbling run. Double pike somersault with a very nice tall landing.
It's very controlled.
This is her front tumbling pass. Very well done. Front layout to a 1.5. Good difficulty. Nice creative choreography, interesting movements along the floor. Getting ready for her final pass. Another front tumbling pass. Very clean.
Great routine.
Favorite place on campus for Sarah Schmidt back in Champaign? Starbucks. She laughs, says, that's where I get all my studying done. The 5'2" junior, first tumbling pass.
Here she goes for her first pass again. Nice and high double pike and a great landing there. Her second pass, a front layout. Very nice. She's got great presentation when she finishes those landings.
Bob says for the Illini to reach the Nationals, Sarah will be a key factor. In her 19th season for the Michigan State Spartans, Coach Kathy, a 3-time Big Ten Coach of the Year. The final rotation, the Illini on the vault, Broncos on the beam, Wolverines on the uneven bars, and Kathy's team on the floor. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Big Ten Conference and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this championship may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Big Ten Conference. Mary Lee Tracy is alongside. Rihanna Banda Scott is here. Glad you're on board for a quad meet here. First of the year for the Spartans and the Illini. The Jennison Fieldhouse is the venue, and our Big Ten Network gymnastics crew right back here next week. Again, another quad meet. More great women's gymnastics action from the Big Ten, Iowa, and the Spartans, of course. Illinois State comes in along with West Virginia. Kind of a shaky start to the season for your former friends at the Spartans, huh?
Not the greatest beam rotation for them, but Emily came out on top with a 9.7.
Big news for Illinois. Poor Melissa Fernandez twisted her ankle badly. Questionable the rest of the meet.
But the rest of the team stepped up, did the job, and had some good counting scores.
Wolverines trying to claw their way back to the top.
And they sure do have some impressive scores on the board. Sarah Curtis with a 9.825 on the vault. I believe one of the top scores of the evening.
Broncos are also here. We'll be back here next Saturday. Another quad meet. Michigan State at home. Iowa also here for the Big Ten. After 3 rotations, the Wolverines have taken the lead, in part because of strong effort by Michigan, also in part Melissa fell. Illinois is a solid second, still a chance to pull it out and come from behind. Spartans at home are third, and the Broncos. Out of Ames High School in Ames, Iowa, the junior Kelsey Knutson.
Kelly starts off with a strong mount. Legs are straight. Can see it all the way through every skill she does. Nice extension in her legs and throughout her entire body. Release move done above the height of the high bar. Very impressive. Full pirouette, working on top of the bar. Always in the handstand, the body needs to make as straight a line as possible. Another giant with a full twist right into a double tuck, which is a bonus combination, and a stuck dismount, and she certainly looks happy about it.
Kelsey really has a great consistency to her bar movements. When she swings, everything flows nicely together. There's her release move again. Nice lines.
Career best 9.850, just a little under that tonight here in East Lansing. She was born 20 years ago in Hanover, New Hampshire. She lives in Elkhart, Indiana. She goes to school in East Lansing. The sophomore, Kelsey Morley.
She's going to have the crowd behind her, which is always good for energy. First pass is a front layout with 2 twists, which is very high in difficulty.
Kelsey actually used to be a cheerleader, so she's got great presentation and a lot of great dance moves. She isn't afraid to show it off.
What percentage of the floor is dance versus gymnastics versus breathing and trying to
combining it all together?
Yeah.
Well, you have your 3 passes, which you need to have. If you don't have those, then you won't have your start value. But it's a lot of moving around and a lot of dancing, and you have to remember to show it off and have your leaps, and it's a lot in just 1:30. And you have to remember to smile.
Each tumbling run is about 8 seconds long, so if you figure 24 seconds of 1:30 is tumbling, the rest really is performance.
And the gymnasts do a really good job of not showing how tiring a floor routine really is. But by the time you get to this 3rd pass here, you can be pretty tired. Nice presentation by Kelsey.
She really looked like she enjoyed the routine.
Just a sophomore, wants to become a marketing executive after graduation from Michigan State.
It's a good leadoff for MSU after their not so great beam rotation.
Kelsey says she cannot live without family, friends, and key lime pie. Little doubt she's a hometown favorite out of East Lansing High School right here, the junior Maureen Moody.
Sometimes bars can be hard to adjust to in different environments. The bounce can be a little bit different, as you can see how much movement there is in the bar. especially on a release move. That was a nice release move, and then another one back to back.
Even as we were saying earlier, the lighting can be an issue for some gymnasts as well.
Yes. Setting up for a dismount with a full twist. So she did a double back somersault and put a full twist in the first somersault. Great difficulty. And here it comes again.
Nice height and only a little step on the dismount, but a nice routine otherwise.
One title on the uneven bars last year for Maureen Moody, and in her debut here in the Big Ten, 9.800 tonight. The junior out of Heartland, Wisconsin, and Arrowhead High School, 20 years of age, Sarah Schmidt.
Sarah has a very aggressive run into this vault here. A half twist, nice stick.
This vault a little bit different than the other ones. Instead of a full twist, you're going to see a half twist, but it has the same value as the full twist.
And for the kinesiology major, 9.725. Wolverines are in the lead. This is big for the next three over Michigan. Sarah Curtis, the 21-year-old junior, up first from Reno, the biology major. I mean, do you get to a point in a meet, Mary Lee and Rihanna, where you start to, not perform defensively, but you don't want to make any major errors if you know you're on top of that leaderboard, right?
Well, when the ball's rolling, it's so much easier to keep it going. And right now, Michigan has got the ball rolling.
Rihanna?
You know, when I was competing, there was a lot of times where we would go into our third and fourth rotation and not even know where we stood as a team. There was meets where we thought we were losing and we came out on top by a huge margin. So staying focused on your routine is really the key to doing a good job, I think.
Nice release move by Sarah. It's called a Takacha. Very big, nice amplitude. Another release move. Good variety in her release moves. Transition to the high bar.
Sarah's a very powerful bar worker, as you can see in
a
gorgeous
beautiful
dismount.
double layout.
Along with Miss Banda Scott, Sarah was all Big Ten first team last year.
And here comes that transition that gets her back up to the high bar in preparation for this great. And here comes this great dismount. Look at the form, legs together, good body shape, and of course that stuck landing.
Beautiful.
Coach Bob Starkell says Marika is doing her best gymnastics heading into her senior year. It's what you would expect, but it's not always the case, right, ladies?
Not always. It's actually quite rare for an NCAA gymnast to make it to her senior year. Usually they're plagued by injuries, surgeries. So for someone to make it this far is really quite an accomplishment.
The one thing I do notice, though, as they become seniors is the maturity. A lot of times they do handle the competition much better.
There's a certain level of consistency that you see with senior athletes, I think.
And here we are on the vault. Yurchenko, layout full twist. Very good, powerful, and her legs were extremely clean while she twisted.
Look at that determination.
It's a huge vault. Big step on the landing, but a nice vault. She had a lot of height and a lot of distance.
9.90 has been Marika Boderman's best on the vault. Six career titles on the uneven bars for Tatiana Tina-Rego, the outstanding senior from Miami for the Wolverines.
Beautiful line, long-bodied, long legs. Nice release move, amplitude as well as form. Another nice transition to the low bar and then right back up to the high bar. Meets all of her requirements. Setting up for what is going to be a great dismount. Double layout, stuck. That was a gorgeous routine.
Mary Lee, what do you mean by air awareness?
Air awareness is when you let go of the bar and you know exactly where you're at.
Right here.
That shows air awareness. To let go of the bar, do a half turn and a somersault, and then find it again. Take some awareness.
Same thing for your dismount. Knowing where you are in the air in regards to when you're going to land on the floor really helps you nail it, just like she did there.
Strong effort there for the poli-sci major out of Miami.
Better. Come on, Bernie. Good job.
Big smile before she started. The human resources junior out of Bay City, Michigan, Nicole Curler for the Spartans.
Nicole always does a really great job of showing off her floor routines. Almost bringing the judges into your performance. Nice first pass.
First pass can kind of set the tone, can't it?
That's true. Here she goes for her second one. There you go. As long as they're not past the line and out of bounds, then you're going to be okay. But if you go over that white line just a little bit, you're going to get a deduction. Showing a little attitude there is always good. Nice leaps. Making sure she breathes a little before her last pass here.
At what point in the floor do you know you've got it going? You're really nailing it tonight.
When you finish that last ending pose, I think that's when you know it's been a good routine or not. And I think she did it.
Like
Nice
Rihanna,
routine.
all first team Big Ten for the Spartans.
Here goes her first pass. A double pike, nice and high, and a solid landing. And for her last pass, some front tumbling, step backwards, but still a good ending.
Six uneven bar titles last year. Her only performance to the night coming back from injury. Becky Bernard. She excels on the uneven bars.
Becky is one of my all-time favorite bar workers. Her form and execution, look at those legs. They are glued together. A giant with a double turn. No one else is doing that skill.
And her difficulty level, very impressive.
That's a straight line.
It's almost like her legs are just glued together.
Yes, it is. Oh, no. How disappointing is that?
That looked like something went wrong in the lead up to the dismount.
Well, she does have a knee injury, so she might have watered down this dismount. It may not be exactly what she normally does. That you can tell is normal.
The body position on the dismount here, if you look, looks like she pulled in a little bit too close. She was laid out and then tucked her legs in.
Mary Lee defined watered down.
Watered down is when you have a dismount that is got a lot of difficulty, but for one reason or another you can't perform it, so you do the level underneath that.
Great routine until the dismount for the math major out of Stowe, Ohio. Kelsey, the freshman, not an easy event, right, when you're a youngster.
No, and it's something that you really get used to, though, over your 4 years as a collegiate gymnast. You get used to the pressure, and you do great things like that. Look at that great stick.
What do you think about just before you start the run and in those first couple of strides?
Well, with vaulting, it's such a quick event. I mean, you're done the routine in a matter of seconds. So before you go and while you're doing the routine, you really need to think about your cue words and what you need to do to nail that vault. She did a great job.
Keeping it simple. And 9.750. Little embrace from the coach, Coach Kathy there. And this was one of the routines, Mary Lee, that Rhiannon has been saying we cannot miss. How come?
It's the double layout. It's the first pass, and it's the only one in the competition. And for a college athlete, it is one challenging tumbling run.
This routine is actually to Mississippi Queen, a Guitar Hero song, and Emily's got some pretty good Guitar Hero skills. It's always fun to watch her perform. Here goes this huge first pass. I guess she watered it down for today.
Meaning?
There's the watered down where we thought she was going to open with a double layout, and for one reason or another chose to do a double pike, which is a little lesser value.
Could have been playing it safe, or maybe a nagging injury.
Do you decide that before you go out on the mat, or do you decide it as you're actually out there?
If something goes wrong in the middle of a pass, you can change it, but you know, your coach can always tell you beforehand if they'd like you to change something for whatever circumstances it may be. Just having fun out there.
Floor is a great event to end a competition on, especially when you're at home and the crowd is with you and giving you that extra pull. Especially right here as she goes for that last tumbling pass. She's tumbling backwards. Oh, a double tuck somersault came up very short.
The junior out of Waymart, Pennsylvania, just 5 feet tall, Emily Lopatovsky, won the floor 2 times last year for the Spartans. Here's the first pass. This is where she came with the watered down version, huh?
Yep, the double pike instead of the double layout, but still nice and high.
This last pass, you can see kind of from the takeoff, she kind of just pulls her knees in too early and just doesn't get up in the air high enough to finish 2 somersaults.
Talking about her love for her sport, says simply, it builds character.
Moments like that definitely do build character, which you can see she has plenty of.
The maize and blue had a slight lead after 3 rotations, the 4th one into the books. The Illini were in the 2nd spot. We'll come back and find out who won, crowned our champion, wrap things up. So stick around on the Big Ten Network. On a snowy, wintry night, welcome back to Michigan State University in East Lansing, the famed Jennison Fieldhouse. What a kickoff to the 09 gymnastics schedule for the gals on your Big Ten Network and your Spartans teammates.
Well, we have a high score from Nicole Curler, 9.85, and 1 fall from Emily, but looking good nevertheless. Going into Illinois here, we have a 9.825 from Marika. Solid scores from Illinois tonight.
On the uneven bars, the Wolverines, they had a lead. We're still tabulating, but I like their chances.
Some great scores there.
And the Broncos, of course, rounding out the 4 that were in this quad meet. So let's check the final team numbers. The Wolverines squeak one out over Bob Starkell's Illini. The Spartans, they make their debut for 09, and the Broncos, they'll be back. So we've got our gal making her Big Ten Network debut here, Rihanna Bandon-Scott, who performed so admirably 3 straight years, 3 straight letter years, all Big Ten, and the gal that was just inducted into the USA Gymnastics Hall of Fame, our recent inductee, Mary Lee Tracy, with the winning coach, and with Sarah Curtis, who won the all-around. Mary Lee.
You started off last week kind of rough, and then look at what you did tonight. What did you do?
You know, we just really kind of treated last week like it was sort of an inter-squad meet for us and didn't put a lot of pressure on it. Came back and talked about the positive things that we needed to correct and what we were going to be capable of fixing and how good we were going to be. And we came in tonight and made a lot of those corrections, and as a result had a much better meet.
Well, I could see that. It was very enjoyable to watch your team. So what are the goals for this season? Where are you heading after this?
You know, this is a season we're small in numbers. We had a lot of kids coming back from injury, so we're really trying to take things literally one meet at a time. And, you know, we've got to try to make sure that we do a good job of management throughout the season, because our goal is to make sure that we're where we need to be in March and April.
Keeping them healthy is the game, right?
Absolutely.
And how about for you, Sarah? What a night. It was very impressive to watch you, and you're kind of like the team leader. I really see you out there. You got a kind of quiet leadership, but your performances are speaking for you.
Thanks. Yeah, we had a great night. I mean, last year with Lindsay Bruck, she was our leader, and she kind of led by example. So her being gone this year, it was kind of one of those things where, you know, we need somebody else to step up. And we're all pretty much leaders on our team. If someone else needs a kick in the butt to get going, then someone usually does that. But it's nice to be able to incorporate things into the team, too, as far as gymnastics goes.
And winning the all-around, how does that feel?
That feels great. I had some problems last weekend with bars, so it was good to come back in this meet and fix those. But I don't really ever think about when it comes to all-around. For me, it's kind of one event at a time, and what do we need to do as a team to improve.
And in the all-around, the results have been tabulated. The Wolverines finished a strong 1-2 and followed in the 3, 4, and 5 spot by the Fighting Illini. So, of course, Illinois was close after the third rotation, trying to put some pressure on Michigan. But you'll recall that Melissa Fernandez fell, turned her ankle during the floor exercise, had to be scratched. She was set to go in the number 3 spot in the vault, and that probably hurt Illinois' chances. To find out more, here's Mary Lee again with Coach Bob Starkell.
Thanks, Jim. And here I am with Coach Bob, and what a great night it was for you. Exciting floor. There was a little bit of adversity there. What was it like then going into the last event, knowing how close the meet was?
Well, I think we used the advantage to try to figure out how we can try to bring some other people in that weren't going to compete, and we shuffled up the lineup a little bit, and it just kind of gave some people an opportunity that wasn't expecting it before we got there.
And how's Fernandez's ankle?
She's walking out to the bus. It'll be pretty swollen and pretty sore tomorrow, but she's a pretty fortunate young lady, and hopefully it'll just be a short time before she makes it back to the mat.
Illinois, of course, hosting the Big Ten Women's Championship the third weekend in March. You'll see it here on the Big Ten Network. For Coach Bev, she says the Wolverines gear their entire commitment, their training and their practice towards trying to win a national championship. They're off to a fast start in 2009. For Mary Lee and Rihanna and our entire Big Ten Network gymnastics crew, the preceding has been an exclusive presentation of the Big Ten Network.
Log on.